Good morning, guys. It's supposed to be a beautiful day today, and got a project that I'm gonna break ground on. I'm gonna build my wife a gazebo, or at least work on it. But before I get started, just having some coffee, and figured I'd do a quick video to show you the state of where I'm at now, what I've done, and the projects that I got planned for this year. So here's the patio coming off the house. You can see the one angle. I'm gonna show you guys another angle. It seems like it's always a work in progress. Um, the outdoor kitchen, built that, I don't know if it's been 12, 15 years now. I have some old pictures I'll show you guys and do maybe a voiceover of how I built it and kind of talk you through it. But I really wanted a bar area and it worked out really well. And I do have a bit of an overhang, just enough to put your knees, which is perfect. And I've never had a problem. As heavy as this thing is, the concrete, it's worked out good. And this whole thing is budget for the most part. I tried to do this that, how could I get the most out of it, the least amount of money. The chairs, she splurged on a bit, but they've held up. These are originals. I think you probably can't find them anymore, but Pier 1, I think she got them from Pier 1. And perfect height, they match great. Top of this, I used to have a ceiling fan. I took it out, I just capped it off because we didn't use it. I might put another ceiling fan, but it's plumb for a ceiling fan. Up here you can see that little cap. And outdoor ceiling fan, of course. And the ceiling, and the reason it's darker, it ended up looking pretty good, but the reason it's darker is I had my formula screwed up when I was doing the stucco. That's why it's darker, but it ended up working out. So let's look at internals. I have, the reason it's comes down, it's extended on the one side, was because I had a cabinet over there that I stored the Weber grill. I've since, years ago, ripped that out. The tabletop that is right there is the top of the cabinet. Again, I'll look for some old pictures. So I reused that, built the table base out of steel, made some extension, trying to get the built-in look for the Weber gas grill. I think it's a Genesis GS4. And they make it, but they don't make the same one anymore. It's natural gas. I have it plumbed right there on the house, the gas lines. Love it. I truly love that. The side is taken off. I got to take the other side off, but the reason I put it on there, it looked funny because they have this cap that hooks onto the gas lines. I got to make something that fits a little bit better. I just never have. So I've had it for 3 years. I still haven't done it. What else do we got? I have my pizza oven, and I'm going to do a review separate on that. I built that stand. I did a video. I just want to get another cook or two in before I give you guys my honest review. A sink, which I ran the water under the patio. I never hooked it up. I'm going to do that this year. I'm going to hook it up. But I did it like you'd have in a kitchen. It's a bar sink, and it's all mounted right. It's got a nice high-end faucet, Moen or something. Again, don't buy cheap faucets. I say that from experience, not because I'm trying to get you to waste money. It's just, it's not worth it to buy anything but the good faucets. Okay. The other thing here, this is fire brick. And the reason it's fire brick, I used to do Dutch oven cooking over here. I don't use the Dutch ovens that much, just kind of brushing up on camping recipes. We don't camp anymore. But I still use it once in a while. So I wanted to keep the elevation up for the ergonomics of the pizza oven and to be able to see the pizza, also to clear this ledge. But I set my plates over here when I come out and put chicken or whatever on the grill, so that was real important piece to keep some space there. Big green egg, it's held up super good. The only thing I've had to replace on this was the hinges. They broke. So, and I did replace the screen, and I added the feet. I originally had, it's old, so it came with these little ceramic feet, and when they came out with those, I replaced that a couple years ago, and then that screen was starting to change colors. It worked worked fine, but just for looks, just kind of keeping it going. Over here I have a refrigerator. It's like a dorm style refrigerator. Home Depot, again, years ago. I want to say it was probably $80 or $100. It's got a light. It does fog up a little bit sometimes. Anytime you have that glass front, even though it's thermal paned, or it looks to be thermal paned, that you lose a lot of energy out of that, but it looks really cool. I have a few beers and some water and stuff out there now. It has a light. It did break once. I was able to get a part. I don't know if it was a compressor, but inexpensive part on Amazon. Got it running again. Over here we have a 2-burner. I think it's Camp Chef, and this works out. Now this is propane. I'm gonna keep the propane bottles down there. You guys can see it. And it's plumbed, and I built this for this grill. And that's another thing I probably wouldn't have done again. I actually have this little knob, and it comes out, and my whole theory behind that was because if I had a knob coming out, that no rain or water would get in, but yeah, I don't get any water in here. Hindsight, I would have drilled a hole probably in the back or front, depending on the oven. Maybe I would have done both. It would have given me more options, but it's held up. I probably should paint the knobs, and the valves were sticking a little bit, and I had to take those apart and lube them up a bit, but I was going to buy a new one. They still actually make this. A couple $100, I want to say. It's more expensive, a lot more expensive than the cheaper version of this. It has the igniter, and I don't know why it's so much more, but I decided not to. It still looks good. Good enough not to just replace it to replace it. And you can get parts for the valves. That was the other factor. Yes, it's got a little rust, but anytime you use a burner and it's outside like this, even if I get a new one, it's going to rust right away. And then over here, I'm showing its age a bit. I bought a boat head deck and 2 speakers, and I used it. It worked pretty good. Now with Bluetooth, I got a couple good Bluetooth speakers, and it blows it away. And I still may change out the speakers. The speakers are blown. I hate having something that looks like it's there and it doesn't work good. And then the head unit, it works only with your iPad, iPhone if you plug it in. It doesn't have Bluetooth. So if I find a deal for a new one, I may replace it. For sure going to replace the speakers, but again, it bothers me because I hate having something that isn't working. The lights, these are incandescent string lights. Normally I do LEDs, but I had these, and I have a cheap Amazon controller. You know, you turn your lights on and off with that word. I won't say it because it'll turn your smart stuff, but I can say that word and then turn the patio lights on, and the patio lights will turn on. And that is it. Oh, over here. So when I close this end, I went with a fiber board. It's like a T111, whatever they call that, but it was already primed, and it worked out. The goal here was fire resistant. Here, I probably should have done something a little bit more fire resistant, but the gas grill, I don't cook anything really that's flaming up or anything like that. What else? I think that's all for the outdoor walkthrough kitchen. Over there is just storage. I have some chairs that I can put out on the fire pit over there. Probably going to put those back in the shed because we never use them, and it's just collecting leaves. I don't know how leaves get in there, but leaves get in there. I put my charcoal here. I got to clean these out. You know, just some odds and ends. And then over here, guys, the table, we originally had it over here. I'm doing a gazebo, which I'm going to break ground on it today, start digging holes. And then the chairs, we had chairs, then we moved it and put the table and chairs over there, kept them moving around. We were going to extend the patio. Instead, we're going to put a gazebo over here, a small one just for like a couch, sofa, outdoors. And then these chairs are made by Polywood. Went with the gray because the shed is gray, air condition is gray, and it just kind of ties it together. The fireplace my wife purchased this year, it's made by Bighorn. It also is gray and tan, so it kind of ties it everything together. What the umbrella, I'm just gonna do something else with that, get rid of it. That's not staying there. And then, so that's the project today. I'm already kind of figuring out where my holes are. The other problem is this sump pump goes down here somewhere. Not sure where. So we're gonna see how this goes. Back here, we're on a half acre. So I do have some space. I used to have my garden back there, and a bunch of animals ate it, and it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This year I'm doing a trial run. That's what all these buckets are for. My father-in-law's had pretty good luck growing vegetables out of buckets. So that's what I got going on over here. Doing a test run this year. He brought me over that tomato plant. I got some other tomato plants over here, some basil, cilantro. And if this works out, I'm going to build a bucket rack garden. So I'm going to paint the racks to match the gazebo and the other outdoor kitchen, that tan to match the house. The buckets I'm going to spray paint with latex on the outside to match the shed. So it'll be the gray and the tan. And I think I did the math in the small spot and the bottom, just for keep the weeds down, I want to put a covering, but just a spot, I get anywhere from probably anywhere from 55 to 75 plants from the math I did just by running a couple aisles of bucket racks. And then I would hook up the water in a auto watering unit, and that's a project later this year. I want to see how this goes first, see if it's worth it to buy the buckets and do all that work just for the animals to eat it. And yes, maybe plan B, if they do eat it, I fence it in, top and bottom, but that is a project a little bit further down the road. I showed you guys my lights, but that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my coffee, eat something. This is it for this video, but stay tuned for the gazebo. I'm gonna start that now. Take care.